I was thoroughly disgusted with the companies in the first place. It's obvious that they are cashing in on the fact that they can put the prices up, and their thought for the general public and the consumer is very little. To an extent, I have written letters to all the big 6 companies asking them what they're going to do, and particularly for vulnerable people, and how they're going to make sure that these people don't get cut off if it turns out that the bills have got to such an extent they can't afford to pay for it. At least with my 10-minute rule bill, they've introduced the prepayment meters charges so that people can swap, and if where it used to be £200 if they were in debt you couldn't swap, and now they're talking about increasing it to £500, which is a win because I only asked for £350, so that's a win for me. I think we've reached a stage now where it's time to seriously think about what we're doing with gas. We had the government being told by Ofgem that they're going to have to build nuclear power stations, and Ned Davey, the Secretary of State, said they were talking about building 20 gas-fired power stations. Now where that leaves us in climate change I don't know, but there's something not right, and it's maybe time that we thought about nationalising gas again. Well, the referendum will be probably the biggest thing that's ever happened in Scotland since 1707. We've got to the stage where we now know there is a referendum, and for those of us like myself who believe that we are better together and that the United Kingdom is the way forward, then I'll be out there as I was last weekend campaigning. And I've got great faith in 16 and 17-year-olds that they'll come to the right decision. Having said that, the fact that a 16 and 17-year-old can vote for independence for Scotland and separation, but can't vote or won't be able to vote in about 7 months later, 8 months later, in the general election is not right. If we're going to give votes to 16 and 17s, and I've always said we should, then let's give them it for every election, and let's do it now. My role as a chair is to make sure that everything's done properly and fairly, and that the government get their opportunity to set their case, and to make sure the opposition get to make their case and ask the questions that they want. It's basically what the Speaker does in the House of Commons, and I am his representative on this bill. My committee is what they call the Civil Dimension, and basically it's exactly as it says. The Civil Dimension Committee is about things that happen in countries for their own borders and to look after their own civil defence, and how we can help in the case of NATO countries, and obviously the Russians will have a similar body and will meet with their political representatives, and we'll iron out a few problems, and we'll hopefully at the end of it be a lot more friendly towards each other.